Welcome to News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery.
I'm Johnny Lou Avery, and Sephanie Rivas from the Wagner Noel Performing Arts Center is here again today. We talked last week about some of the things that brought this building into fruition and some of the past performances we've had. And so today we're going to be talking about future performances, but before we get into that, Stephanie, I want us to talk about the staff and the board and all of the people that make this run.
The internal makings,
Yes.
if you will, of the Wagner Noel Performing Arts Center. I'll remind everyone, we are owned by the University of Texas at the Permian Basin, so we are a UTPB property. We are managed privately by the company that I work for, which is called SMG World. SMG manages 200 venues worldwide. And what's great about this is that it is already a network. The folks that work within our company already have a network of performers and managers and promoters that they work with that help attract those types of things to our building. Our staff, our SMG staff at the building is
very small.
Very small. It is a very large building, but we are a very small and mighty staff of 6 full-time employees, and I think about 3 or 4 part-time employees now. And then, of course, we do have some contract labor that help us backstage, that help us with our custodial and maintenance, which I like to mention because we are, in the process of looking for some part-time custodial work and some contract labor. If you're interested in working at the facility, we do take great pride and have great passion for our building, and we want to keep it looking and as best as we can for the future. And so if you look at that building and you think, I can have a passion for helping keep the Wagner Noel looking the way it is, we encourage you to contact us because we are always looking for some part-time and some contract labor where those things are considered. But we are a small and mighty staff of 6. We have a box office manager. If you're having a box office question, Lori Profit is our box office manager. She's been phenomenal. Ty Sutton is our general manager. He comes with great knowledge. He came from a building in Colorado and has been really pivotal in some of these great bookings that we've had. I'm actually in charge of marketing for our facility. So I work with these promoters when they bring an act to the building to help them get the word out into our communities about what's coming up at our facility. And then, of course, we have an accounting manager that kind of keeps us all, all in shape and make sure that we're all, staying where we need to stay. So we are a very small staff. Our operations manager has a huge task of keeping our building in tip-top shape from, one end to the other. And so we have some great professionals that work out at our building.
But you report to a board.
We report, yes, ma'am. And I should mention our production manager. I don't want to leave our production manager out. Miss Carrie Scott. She keeps all those shows in line backstage. So
you've got to have somebody working with those.
With every part of our facility, we do have that one manager that kind of is the glue that keeps all that together. Yes, and then we do have an advisory board that is made up of some folks from the university, some community members, which were a part of our founding group. So we do have that advisory board that really just helps to make sure that we are on track with our mission, to make sure that the building is doing and providing all of the things that was within their original vision of providing great quality entertainment.
And to look ahead.
And to look ahead and to look at the future. It is, everyone always says, oh, we're built and we're here, but just like a homeowner knows, just once you get into that house, now you have to look 5 and 10 years ahead as to what you might need to do. And so when we start looking at the future of the Wagner Noel, we know that there's going to be significant growth in our area. UTPB, who you mentioned, 40-year anniversary for UTPB, are looking at growing. We are what is part of what will be considered the Midland campus. We sit there on that 191 and 1788 corridor with the Seed Building, which is the Centers for Economic Diversification there in the corner. So along with that facility and ours, they already know that there will be some other UTPB educational buildings in that area. But then when we look at the Wagner Noel independently of that, we have to make sure that, one, we look ahead to the where of the building. Are we going to need to expand the facility at any point in time? I think all of those things already.
New sound and new lighting. And all.
Absolutely. Whereas we've had, over 100 performances a year in our building. And the numbers that calculates into, when you have 1,800 people a show coming into the building, that's a lot of foot traffic.
And flushing toilets.
Flushing toilets and walking upstairs and so carpeting and flooring and all of that. So the advisory council works with the facility and the management company to look at those projects and try to look ahead so that we can focus on that. On the other side of that also is that you and I have discussed how greatly supported this building is. We've had some wonderful performances, many sold out performances, but just like everyone else in our Midland, Odessa, West Texas community, we know that times sometimes are not always as good. And so we as a building want to plan for those times and make sure that we have a good endowment fund that will help with the building as we go into the future. And we have been blessed that our advisory council and all those folks that started our facility are very forward thinking in that respect. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And plus the fact that you've got some non fine arts professionals that can say, well, this is what people really like.
Absolutely.
Or this is what we need for the outlying areas.
It's a collaborative effort. Yes. It really, really is. And really everyone just thinking about what is best for our area.
So the bottom line is that even though we got some grant money and all of this kind of stuff, and we've gotten some really large donations, we need small donations, and especially the wonderful brick paver.
The paver program, yes, we'll talk a little bit about the paver program. We have a great paver program, and this really it goes back to the endowment fund, so it goes back to supporting the longevity of the facility and keeping it here for West Texas for years and years and years to come. And our paver program starts at $1,000, so for as little as $1,000, we have 3 levels: $1,000, $2,500, and $5,000. And we have these great pavers that lead into our building. And depending on your donation, you can have a lettering script on those pavers.
But they're all the same size?
All the pavers are the same size, but the text gets larger. So the text on your paver will be larger with the larger donation. And people are always asking us, what that will do for them. We will make sure that your email address gets put into our database so that you can get some advance notices on some shows and things like that. But really, you just would feel really good about knowing that you are supporting the facility.
We're going to have to take a break. We'll be back in just a minute and continue this conversation.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.